It's double or nothing.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm playing a classic commander, Yarok the Desecrated. Yarok the Desecrated is an elemental horror that doubles the enter the battlefield triggers of, well, any of your permanents. In fact, it even doubles things that are triggered by your opponent's things entering the battlefield, so long as you're the one controlling the thing that has a triggered ability. Yarok is a very good commander, in fact so good that it's really hard to pick which cards to put in a deck like this. There are so many options for how to build Yarok that you can put in whatever your favorite Sultai enter the battlefield things are. I personally chose to put in a bunch of different things that had landfall triggers because that's a permanent entering the battlefield causing a triggered ability, a bunch of value cards like Hostage Taker and Rusco, and some nice removal like Ravenous Chupacabra, Shuldred, Gearhulk, and the new Perforator Crocodile. There's lots of great choices when it comes to Yarok, so there's no going wrong with playing your favorite cards. I think that this is a deck that constantly gets upgrades, and the more cards you have for it, the more you can pick and choose from when you're choosing how to build your deck. And since we're going for things that have enter the battlefield abilities, and we happen to have an elemental as a commander, this is also the perfect excuse to run one of my favorite cards, Risen Reef. Yes, I love Risen Reef so much, and I'm so happy to get to put it into this deck. This deck I'm also running a couple ways to not have to rely on my creatures. Pieces of removal that are able to remove especially creatures and planeswalkers, because sometimes your opponent plays a card like Elish Norn, and you still need to be able to play the game if there's an Elish Norn out in the battlefield. Yeah, she stops your enter the battlefield ability, so you gotta kill her so you can actually win the game. So we're going to take Yarok into the queue, and we're going to double some triggers. Judith, Carnage, Connoisseur. This is the instance in sorceries getting Death Touch or getting you an Imp Judith. That's the newest one. I like this hand. It does have a bit of ramp in it. And ramp is good because it means that we can go fast against what is a little bit slow for a commander. She costs 5 mana, which is tough to deal with, but that means that they are usually chock full of removal as they get set up. Sometimes Judith, by the way, is a storm commander looking to just generate a ton of these imps because when they die, they hurt your opponent. Sometimes she's a little bit more in the general good stuff category. Since I want to continue the ramp, I'm actually going to bolt this in because Uro can only put actual lands into play. Also, we gain the 3 life back, so that's just fine and dandy. They have 1 land, we have 4. The Sultai way. I think Invasion of Zendikar over Invasion of Amonkhet, kind of like gambling on getting a land. Let's just get the guarantee. We want another blue in case of Uro, and we already have plenty of green, but we can always use more. And this does not need to attack. It's a no-3. One of the coolest things you can do with Judith is turn things that deal 1 damage to each of your opponent's creatures into board wipes because of that Death Touch lifelink. They're looting again. Setting up lots of good cards. Yeah, when I built Judith, I built her as a storm deck. Ooh, we could Neo form. We're going to grab a couple lands here. I actually didn't want it to tap like that, but it was trying to leave open my other lands, so that's fine. I'll grab the Hedge Mage and a Forest. Yeah, this way I'm not able to use the Neo form, and that's fine. Ooh, Confounding Conundrum. A good card, but not what I want against a Rakdos commander. Confounding Conundrum with Yarok out, by the way, is one of the most brutal cards, because if you happen to get 2 lands into play on the same turn, and your opponent has Yarok and Confounding Conundrum out, you have to put 2 cards back into your hand. It's very rough. Very, 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 very rough to deal with. Ooh, do I want to hold open that Tidebender? I want to get double triggers off another battle, the Invasion of Amonkhet. Yes, it also does punish Pawk. Fetch lands become a curse with it. Now we've got our invasion, and if we manage to flip over Invasion of Amonkhet, oh, do we have some nice cards to get? We did mill a couple nice storm cards from them, and since we were milling, that gives me the opportunity for an Uro. I'm gonna grab some non-creatures out of the graveyard, since I want to save those, and ones that don't have enter the battlefield abilities. Uro is going to gain 6 life, draw 2 cards, and put a bunch of lands into play. Let's grab one of these and one of these. And I guess I'll name elementals, since we do have a couple elementals in our deck, including our commander. Not that it really matters. You get a couple things off that. I kind of just like passing, like attacking and passing here. Alright, since they didn't block, we're going to grab our Awakened Skyclave. I'm going to Neoform it. I believe this counts as a 4-cost creature, which lets me grab a 5-cost creature like Scarab God or Shuldred. One of these kills their commander, and the other one lets me do all sorts of nasty business. I have no killers in the graveyard to reanimate. Do they have any killers in the graveyard to reanimate? They don't, so I'm just going to grab Shuldred for now. Because we double milled them, it's notable that we also do have enough mana and enough cards in their graveyard to flip Shuldred over and put us in a very good spot. GG, Judith. Sauron, the Dark Lord. If I cast a spell, they amass. And if that army happens to hit us, they can be tempted by the ring. And if they are tempted by the ring, they can discard their hand and draw a fresh one, or at least a partial one. Lots of really, really good control cards here. Yikes. I gotta choose which of these I want to take out, since I have a bit of a slow hand against them. I think I'm going to go for Nicol Bolas. Oracle the Alpha is their fastest thing they'll be playing. But it's not necessarily what I'm most afraid of here. Just playing out lands, don't mind me. I might use this Timeless Witness to bring back the Thoughtseize. Oracle of the Alpha shuffles the Power 9 into their deck. Let's go ahead and grab that Thoughtseize again. I seize those thoughts. Blade Coil is a very cool card. It's very flexible. They scry on attack. We take 2. Bringing out Rusko. We want him on the field when we cast Thoughtseize, because then he will gain us a life and make them lose a life. Unless he's dead, but that's okay. He kind of deserves to die. Roll Thoughtseize. Seize them thoughts again. They have a tutor. I don't like that. They have Nicol Bolas, who makes us discard, can transform. The River's Rebuke isn't as bad because we are an Enter the Battlefield deck, but it's still not something I want to deal with. I don't want to have to, like, rebuild my entire board. So I'll drop it, and if they want to, they could always search for Cyclonic Rift or something like that. Oracle the Alpha swings in, scries again. I was kind of hoping that they would play a Blade Coil Serpent, but they didn't have the mana for it. So I could destroy with Titan of Industry, of course. We will bring out Yarok. I gotta play the land first, because I want to make sure I'm leaving open some blue. And I will use Confounding Conundrum. This will draw me 2 cards. And if they have 2 lands enter the battlefield on a turn, as long as we still have Yarok out, I'll actually have to put 2 lands back in hand. It's very, very mean against fetch lands. This Sauron, I built him as an Amass deck because I thought it would be more fun, but typically people just build him as Grixis Control because he's an incredibly strong commander. Having this ward ability that makes him very, very difficult to get rid of means that he can just sit around and make some value. Okay, yeah, so they search for the Time Walk. They're taking an extra turn. They get to scry again. And hopefully they can't recast that Time Walk from graveyard. That's one of the things I'm more afraid of. They get an extra turn, and what do they have? They have 5 mana, maybe a 6th, either a land or one of those Moxen. Oh, it's Sheoldred, who makes me lose life, or makes them gain life. Ancestral Recall, they gain a bunch of life because they drew a bunch of cards. They can still attack me for 6. Oof, ow, and owie. I think we'll have to take out Nicol Bolas. Maybe more than just Nicol Bolas. Oh, that card draw really hurts. Titan can also, like, gain me a bunch of life. I don't quite have enough mana to do both of these. They can't flip over Bolas next turn, so this is fine. I am going to gain 5 life, make a Rhino. Gain 5 life, put a shield on Yarok. Swing in with Yarok. And pass back to them. Oh my god, they could have Ancestraled me for lethal! You're so right! I actually forgot Ancestral Recall is target player. If this person was big-brained, they could have targeted us, had us draw 3 cards with Sheoldred on the battlefield, and I would be dead right now. I've seen that with Sign in Blood, by the way. Like, I have a Sheoldred deck and I run Sign in Blood in it because you can target your opponent and make them lose 6 life, 2 from the spell and 4 from Sheoldred. Are you sure? Okay, they're swinging in. I care about Nicol Bolas and his ability to transform, so I will block Nicol Bolas. Taking 2, and here comes Chandra. Would you like to finish off the Titan of Industry? Well, ye my haws. Time to get that Sheoldred off the board. And by getting rid of her, we also open up a path to get rid of Chandra. Just keep playing everything out. This Midnight Clock will eventually flip. 4 plus 3, and then 2 at Chandra.
This was a waste of my time.
The Midnight Clock is also dangerous with the Sheoldred. That's why we got rid of the Sheoldred. They do have something that could get hasty, but I wouldn't be dead to the haste. Kolaghan's Command, they're taking out the clock and the Gallagrators. Thankfully, we're getting little bits of life each turn off Yarok, too, since he does have Death Touch and Lifelink. I am going to sacrifice my land to draw a card. That's a Portal to Phyrexia. Nice. We'll tutor out a forest. I want a Surveilling Forest. We get to surveil twice. Anything that's a permanent that I put into the graveyard. Gives me the added benefit. Actually, you know what? We're going to keep that on top. The added benefit of being playable with this Muldrotha. We got lands in the graveyard, and they have a counterspell. Boo! Well, fine. Sauron the Dark Lord enters play. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We know we're not drawing a land. But my creatures have Death Touch. Well, one of them already had Death Touch. But now it's got more Death Touch. I will let you amass so I can flicker my Timeless Witness. We get to return 2 things from the graveyard to hand. I'm feeling maybe a Muldrotha. And, I don't have enough mana to just play that Titan. But I bet there's something in here that could kill our opponent, right? Or at least stop them from doing anything. A good Thoughtseize never hurt anyone. GG. Lazav, a Wearer of Faces. This is the newest Lazav. There's a Lazav coming out in the next set too. And this is the one that can turn into an exiled creature if you sacrifice a clue. And you get those clues by attacking. Yeah, this deck has all the 2-for-1s. The whole deck is the 2-for-1. Let's use this Polluted Delta, and I'll just grab the Triome. I don't feel like I need to bluff a Wash Away, because I don't feel like it. We call this the auto pass value here. Is there going to be a Cowboy Lazav? There is. Thunder Junction. We've already seen that there's going to be one. There's nothing in the graveyard yet for them to copy, so we're going to see what's in their hand. Okay, I will exile the Invasion of Amonkhet, because that is the card that would put a thing into the graveyard. We also have things, by the way, that get into graveyards. And it just leaves them with this Sinister Sabotage, which I'll see if I can just move that carefully from their hand. Extract it. Okay, so they're sabotaging the Thoughtseize, and they get to Surveil. They did find a creature, Junji. They'll be able to turn Lazav into Junji using that. Boop. All they have to do is attack in and crack a clue. Got some nice land ball stuff ready to go here. They do have Silumgar's Command as some removal coming up. They'll go for the Tireless Provisioner. See if it gets countered. And I'm just banking up treasures. I think that also playing Risco this turn would have been very good. Crack and open a clue. Would you like to turn into Junji? I mean, it doesn't do anything, but sure, why not? You're Junji now! Taking out all those cards from my graveyard. And since they could turn this into a 5/5, we are definitely not blocking. I also did not get a land here. I could go for Yarok. Silumgar's Command is able to counter non-creature spells. And also kill either of these. You like the Junji art? It's very sparkly. There it is. Gaining 1 life at a time. Looking good. They're killing Risco and bouncing the bat. And we get to mill, we have to discard, and we have to be mindful of the cards we discard, because Lazav will be able to exile those cards and become copies of them. They can also reanimate a copy of something as a 4/4 zombie. Once they flip over the Invasion of Amonkhet, they can do that this turn. Let's see if they do. And what would they be a copy of? I think that you would go for the Risco. That's what I would do. Our Muldrotha doesn't have much to bring back, but we could grab a land. Sounds good to me. Get ourselves some Tireless Provisioner triggers. Look for the Windswept Heath. A treasure. Crack this open. I'll just get a basic. I don't need anything too fancy here. And once again the bat, so we can hit their hand. Okay, wash away, Elders Reborn, connive and concoct, and drag the canal. Our Deep Cavern Bats just, cutting them off from some minor things that they could be doing. They could turn into Risco or Junji. I am going to block here. This does have a very good on-death ability. They can make me discard 2 cards. Also lose 2 life. Alright, so I'm going to drop Nissa and Key. They could just hold open their counter spell. They could drag the canal. A creature did die. Risco doing Risco things. Accelerating the clock and draining me for life. Who's in a graveyard now? Kaito, Odawara. Not many creatures for them to bring back. Thankfully for them, we are also doing creatures in graveyards because Muldrotha likes it. We want to start with a creature. I'll grab this Nissa. It's being cast from outside of my hand. Would you like to counter it? It only costs 1 mana. And oh, what a discount. And we grab our land. That fetch is so fetch. I'm going to bring out the Yarok using these treasures. And I can grab a Surveil land here. That'll give me some information about the top of my deck. And 2 treasures, thanks to the Tireless Provisioner. Topiary Stomper. I'm fine with that going to the graveyard. You want to become a copy of it, Lazav? And a Prosperous Innkeeper. Also cool with that going to the graveyard. Swing in with my bat. Flap, 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 flap. And they draw cards. I thought about attacking with Muldrotha to, like, be tricky with this Cyclonic Rift and, like, maybe bounce the token. It didn't feel necessary, though. Ooh, just drawing more cards. Using up all those clues. Bizarre Trade Mage. Enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards and discard 3 cards. I guess that's what you get for having a 3-mana 3/4. This is not a card I'm used to seeing. But I guess whatever they were looking for, they didn't find. But we win. GG. Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. It's like a Craterhoof behemoth in the command zone. Based on a number of creatures you have, he makes your board bigger and more vigilant and trampling and eventually even double striking. A fairly fierce commander. It's best to either counter him or kill him on the spot, because if you don't, he lands, and he's only 4 mana, and takes you out. But first, your opponent does need to build up the board. Our deck does not have a lot in the way of board wipes in it, because I didn't feel like putting them into the deck. But that's oftentimes what you'll end up with. Lotus Cobra, I think I might play next since I do have Uro. And with Uro, we might be getting 2 lands into play next turn, so we can float the extra mana off the landfall and play either Llanowar Loam Speaker or the Confounding Conundrum next. This Odawara I probably do want to save, though, because that is an instant speed way to bounce Jetmir back into hand. So, like, we can try to get them to commit to an attack and then remove the Jetmir from play. Dreamroot Cascade, I'm going to float a little bit of green mana. Some good green stuff. I'll play Uro. We know we have extra lands in hand. Ooh, even more now. The Shipwreck Marsh. We have so many beautiful colors of mana! And a Llanowar Loam Speaker. I don't want to trade this, so I'm not going to attack. I do wondering what they're doing, because they have 4 mana here. Ah! Ah, they're making a bunch of spores. The spore swarm. If they just, like, get white mana off the goose, they could play Jetmir here and have a pretty big swing. Hi, Jetmir. Do I take 12 or take out one of these critters? I'm going to trade... Ah, but that gives me so much less mana next turn. No, I'm trading Doofus for a Dorcas. Does mean I have to play this land before getting out something like Yarok, and that is fine. Yarok can wait a turn while I kill Jetmir. Because I destroyed their mana dork in that trade, their Llanowar Elf, they're not able to replay him right away either, which is important to me. And if they want to play anything fetching, the Confounding Conundrum will punish them. No ramp. No ramp. Thank you, Ravenous Chupacabra. A classic killing critter right here. I say classic as if Amonkhet was that long ago. In the grand scheme of Magic, it wasn't. In the grand scheme of Arena, oh, it's right in the beginning. Ooh, they're buffing up their tokens. Nice. Patrick Mendy, thank you for the 30-month resub. I will trade a token for a dog. I know it's not technically a dog, but it's a dog in my heart. The more things I have in my graveyard, the more likely I am to be able to bring out Uro. Yarok. Who rocks? You rock. Nice food. I can't actually do anything with all this floating mana. I just kind of wanted to do it. I guess I could bounce something, but I don't really want to. Yarok is a pretty good deterrent for attackers because he's got Death Touch and Lifelink. You attack in, I end up with a higher life total than I started with. And that's great. Krenko. The bigger he is, the more goblins he makes. If a Shoulder's Edict, we could force them to lose either the Goose or the Krenko. Or do I have enough for Hoof? Crater Hoof Behemoth, with our good friend Yarok here, gets you a lot of damage. More than a Crater Hoof normally does, which is already a lot of damage, because it comes into play and triggers twice, giving both of your creatures, in this case, all three of them, yeah, I think that's lethal, especially with this Death Touch here. Maybe they have a Swords to Plowshares. I think if they did, they would have taken out Yarok first. Yeah, these each got +6/+6. Oh, it's March of the Multi-Dudes. This gets them a couple of life-linking blockers, so that kind of gets them an additional 4 life. But I don't think it's enough. Because we're swinging for 30? But wait, oh, no, it puts them at 2 because they have the buff from that Virtue. Nice. They're not dead yet, but neither are we. They have 4 mana since they don't have anything for the Goose to sacrifice. They cannot bring out Jetmir this turn. 2 is not dead. They'll get some extra blockers off this Krenko. Anduril, Flame of the West. Cool. What do I have in my graveyard? 3 cards. Pardon me? Oh, this is a regular Hoof art. Yeah, I want them to block with the Gilded Goose. I also want them to put some stuff in my graveyard. For a certain little Uro. Make them get rid of Krenko. Pass the turn. Hoping that they equip Anduril. Sure, you hit it twice. We love that for you. This no longer has any abilities. It is a sword. of no use. They could swing in for 4, but unless they got more blockers, we'll just be taking them out. GG, Jetmir. Tamiyo, Field Researcher. This is a Tamiyo that people tend to proliferate because her ultimate ability is very, very good. So is her plus, giving you card advantage and punishing you for attacking her. It's really nasty. This is one of those cards that's not so fun to play against, in part because of her colors. The green means ramp, the white means board wipe, and the blue means counter spells. So they're able to protect her as they tick her up through this ultimate free spell ability. I'm keeping this hand, by the way, because it has a little bit of ramp in it. I want to go Zagath Triome, turn 2, Innkeeper, gets me a treasure. We can use that treasure and another land for the Blossoming Tortoise to hopefully get another land out from our graveyard. Or kill a creature if we really, really need to. Tamiyo! You want to take that first turn? Hello? You here? Hey, Tamiyo. Okay, they were mulling their decision over. Had to decide what they wanted for that Tamiyo. A lot of slowpokes today in the queue. There are a lot of slowpokes today in the queue. Maybe it's that Good Friday vibe. Esper Sentinel is going to discourage me from casting some of these non-creature spells without leaving open extra mana, but that's fine. 2 entire mana. Could it be a counter spell? Certainly. Let's find out. I'm going to play the Blossoming Tortoise. And we'll see what we mill. If we mill a land, we can get a land into play. We did mill a land! Excellent! It's the Hedge Maids. Invasion of Zendikar. I can play this. That gets me more land, more good. I'm actually just going to put it in the graveyard, though, and swing in with the Prosperous Innkeeper. Am I reading to tell you that a good fried this day? Yes. 3 mana now in all of their colors. 1 more, and they got that Tamiyo. And they can get that 1 more, maybe with an Explore, since they can play an additional land. Lair of the Hydra. That would do it. Killing this doesn't do much. I kind of want to focus on ramp, so I'm actually going to swing in with both of these. The Blossoming Tortoise into Prosperous Innkeeper. We did get another land. It's Botanical Sanctum. And I'm going to play Thassa. Thassa's going to let me do some stinky blankies. Keep on blinking that tortoise. I want ramp. It also gives me a life. Yay, life. Did we mill a land? We did! We milled 2. That gives me the choice. I'll take the Restless Cottage. I like having almost double the amount of mana as them. Hello, Tamiyo. Would you like to -2 and tap down my attackers? Or would you like to plus and punish me for attacking? They're plussing so I get punished if I attack, but why attack when we can simply destroy them? I will destroy their creature, their land, and their planeswalker. Creature, land, take out the only blue source, and planeswalker. I can and will pay the 1. And now I think they might leave. Am I willing to let them draw a card? Sure, I got plenty of cards in hand already. I want a ramp. A lot of people are not too happy about being casualties of war before they can even get set up. What beautiful choices we have. We now have 10 lands. Yarok hasn't even been out here to double it. We've just got the Stinky Blinkies with Thassa. They said, oops. And good game. They're searching for Iskanta. But they Iskanta deal with our turtle. Good game, Tamiyo. Croxa, Titan of Death's Hunger. Do you hunger for discard? Because that's what he does. He makes you discard cards. And, well, we do have some, like, graveyard recursion in this deck, so that's not the worst. But still pretty scary. Since he comes out, we're gonna be, dropping eeny, meeny, miny. I feel in Confounding Conundrum. They probably do have a bunch of fetch lands in their deck because it helps feed the graveyard for Quruxa, but they're not a green deck. So just go ahead and get rid of that. Lotus Cobra doesn't give me a crazy bundle of spells, even with the Polluted Delta next turn. So I'm going to start with the Deep Cavern Bat to see what they've got. They do have some removal if they can get a land. So I'm going to hit the first piece of removal they'd be able to get out, which is the Liliana. If they get another land, they got the Chupacabra. I see a Shouldered, Eater, Extinction, Invasion of Innistrad, and Liliana. This is a mono black deck. Lotus Cobra. Throw a little hissy fit. Give myself a couple more things. I think I'll shock in the Breeding Pool here, paying 2 life. Playing the Aether Channeler, so I can draw another card. What were the words that I spoke? Did I just say something weird? I thought I was just reading the names of weird cards in their hand. Oh, hi, Sheldred. I went full auctioneer. Sometimes you just want to say things fast. I wonder if they'll just go Ravenous Chupacabra. Take out Yarok. They could also Invasion of Innistrad to take him out. Goodbye, Yarok. You want to attack it? Cool. Casualties of war can't destroy battles. But it can hit some other things. Some other things like, oh, I don't know, creatures and lands like you and you. Since Crux is in the graveyard, those are things being added to that beautiful graveyard pool. But it keeps them further away from Liliana, which I'm going to say is important. Goodbye, Lotus Cobra. You generated a lot of mana for me, and I love you for that. Foreign clicks, come get me some fancy-pantsy lands. Like, I don't know, this one? And this one. I'll take 2 that come in tapped, since I already have some untapped ones in hand. Baleful Mastery. That sounds good. Swinging in. Oof, oof. 5 mana, or 6 if they're willing to sacrifice their Chupacabra. That would allow them to bring out their Liliana. But no, they don't want me flipping over Vorinclex. And I think they want to flip this over because it gets them a bit of graveyard hate and a source of zombies. Perfect for sacrificing to Liliana Dreadhorde General. The Deluge of the Dead. I'll play Zagoth Triumph. Swing in. Just with the bat. And I'm going to sit here and chill with my Urtai Resurrected, ready to counter their Liliana. They're exiling my graveyard. Oh, but then now you can't exile things to make more zombies. Ooh, a Tenacious Underdog. I could just get them to sacrifice it. Whee! Eat them up. Yum, yum, yum. The tower is hungry. They draw a card. I wish I had enough mana to, like, play you and do more. I don't really. I can reanimate. I think it's best if I just hold the Urtai. Maybe I'll even draw a card. It's a whittle boop. It is a whittle boop. A wee boopin'. They have 6 cards in the grave, so they could bring out Croxa. Collective brutality. Actually, no. I don't really want you to have that. Let's go ahead and counter that. Pardon me. Indeed, none. They could still go for Croxa, but they have to sacrifice a creature to do it, since the tower only generates colorless otherwise. Oh, they're going for Liliana! Alright, let's go ahead and draw a card. Whee! And I will be letting them draw even more cards. Because I think the Null Priest is going to come out and maybe get Urtai and kill you. Alright, how much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we can start with Nissa. Hi, Nissa. And Neuter and Peatlands. Kick it. Urtai. You are die. I might want to hit that Deluge of the Dead. If I get more graveyard stuff, I will get rid of it. Or if they, like, try to make me discard this, sure, I'll turn that into a land for them. I might also hit, like, the Phyrexian Tower. Oh, hi, Croxa! Would you like to turn this into a swamp, perhaps? Maybe a Surveil land? I would have to discard this anyway. Yeah, I gave my opponent card advantage. Just look at that hand. It's beautiful. Cool swamp, bro. I'm down to 9 life. Ooh, playing an automatically sacrificing Cabaret Courtyard. Grabs them a mountain, because they do not have... they don't have forests or plains in their deck. And they murder Nissa before she can find my best friend Risen Reef. For that, you must die! They have enough stuff in the graveyard. If they want to escape Crocs again, they can. Also, I am very tempted to draw a card here. But I will wait. Because they have multiple ways to make me discard. And I'm patient. I'm very, very patient. Calculating, even. Constantly evaluating my best possible moves. And definitely not just taking game actions for the sake of taking game actions. Never. Bones?! Oh, wait. No, we wait. They still have the Liliana. Hi, Liliana. I do love game actions. Alright, we're gonna drop the Urtai, because this has Menace. And now we're drawing a card. Ooh, a Crocodile. Oh my. Croc. Gonna swing into Liliana. Bonk.
I knew this was a waste of time.
Hello? One crocodile, please. I have made your Croxa small and also bleeding. I love this art, by the way, because this is such a, like, cramps kind of moment. Stab wound, you're great. No, don't kill my crocodile! He stabbed you! I thought you wanted this. Bye, Guardian Project. Whoa, okay, there's the horrible dragon again. I wonder what that is. They have enough mana for Deluge of the Dead. I can only copy my own abilities here, and I won't have enough mana to, like, sacrifice the land and copy it. Could Virtues double the stab, wound, bleed? Yes. I think so. Oh, I should have done it. I don't know why. I didn't think they were going to attack. Etria! Thank you for the 38-month resub! I did enjoy Dune Part 2. It had sand. Zendaya kind of looking upsettedly. Pretty visuals. Fun nonsense architecture. And gorgeous lighting. We love sand. It's hard to make a movie that makes sand look that good. I did not get the Dune popcorn bucket because I went to a local theater. Yes! Risen Reef! My beloved Risen Reef. Oh, how many cards shall you reveal? Put into my hand or into play. Yes. Yes, we scry and untap. Untap and scry. I don't actually want another land. I kind of want to draw a card. Ooh, Terran ass. I can make an extra blocker. We saw it as a 70mm projection, yes. Go get him, kids! If Yarok dies, I can play him again. I think they're saying oops because they didn't make a zombie first. I can play him again and get double triggers off the reef. Reef. Wait, you got the bucket but you didn't see the movie? Tony. Hey, wait, that's not a creature. That's just the Maestro's Theater. GG, Croxa. That was a fun back and forth game. The Balrog, Durin's Bane. This hand is both good and terrible. It has no green mana, but it does have a Thoughtseize. But I'm not willing to keep that. This is a very slow hand, but we can always cycle our Crocodile. Hello there, Balrog, Durin's Bane. The Balrog gets a discount based on the number of permanents sacrificed in a turn, including, by the way, my permanents. They're probably chock full of treasures and things like that, because you just want to get the Balrog out and start hitting with it. It's a very strong card, as long as you can get it out nice and early. We'll go for either a Surveil land here or the Triome. I like the Surveil, since I already have all my colors represented, and that gives me the chance of, and we did get, a card I can play earlier. So we have Titanis Tidebender here to turn off the ability of some creature or artifact or something. Ooh, Dockside Chef. And since I have other removal that's not just Gear Hulk, I'm gonna put the Crocodile in the grave. Perfect. Do I want to hold up the Tidebender or do I want to ramp? I'm gonna ramp. I like ramp. Ramp is good. Tidebender, you don't really need to double the ability. It lets you hit 2 separate things on the stack if you need to. This is just a very good card. Oh, Bank Job. Cool. Do I feel like playing Yarok here? That. Yara. Decadent Dragon. Crucius and Eaten Alive. Tasty. I'm gonna hit Crucius. I think that's the card they were most likely to want to play this turn. Bank Job gives them this dragon. They won't be able to play it, so that will give them a treasure. And treasures are great because they count for the cost of the sacrifice. So, like, reducing by 1, and also the mana it produces for the Balrog. By the way, always sacrifice your stuff manually before the Balrog comes in. Ooh, wait. Just gonna attack him with the Dockside Chef. Now, I don't actually need to use this ability. Sometimes you just need a 3-2 with Flash. Fun fact, the Dockside Chef can eat itself. Oh, they're stealing! And he's not consuming himself. Looks like they didn't get a land. Or did they play a land that turn? I don't remember. Kind of decide between counter spells and nothing else. Yes, Urtai is a counter spell. And a kill spell. That's a lot of things. It's kind of a sacrifice spell, too, because you can target your own stuff with it. Uh-oh. Everybody I know and love is dead. And that's just fine. Bank Job gets him a treasure because they could not play Gadrek. In the spirit of ramp, kind of feeling Timeless Witness into a land or Key to the Archive here. Let's go Timeless Witness into a land. Boop. And because I don't want to discount their Balrog, I'm cracking it open on my turn. I'll go for another Surveil land. I love putting stuff in the graveyard. You don't need to go in the graveyard. You can just chill out. The greedy freebooter. Or Crucius. Lets them discard to get things that cost more or less. They had stolen a Paradise Druid! Aww. And what else do you discard? Bloodghast? Okay, cool. Landfall brings back Bloodghast. That's a great thing to choose. I choose to get rid of Crucius. And swing in with the Timeless Witness. This does have Eternalize, so if we get it into the graveyard, we can always bring it back. That's a 4/4. And a zombie. I feel like they can play the Balrog here. They play a land, it gets them the Bloodghast. Involuntary employment! Oh no! They stole my boy, and they could use my boy to exile my Timeless Witness, and she can't come back if she's exiled. Wait. Why are you making him so sticky? I wonder if they can bring out Balrog post-combat. Alright, they hit me, they get a treasure. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Yeah, they could play the Balrog this turn. If they crack one of these for black, use it with the Eat and the Live. Oh, this is beautiful. Keep on going. Oh no, they didn't go for Balrog. They just brought out a Decadent Dragon. That's fine. It's also a cool card. I really wanted that Henge, though. Just ruin it for me. Counterspell. I do actually have blue mana up. Claim the Firstborn. I don't have ways to sacrifice their stuff. And Putrefy. I'll drop the Counterspell, and I'll drop the Grazer. Is it Balrog time? No Balrog. I don't want them attacking me for a set with a 7/5. Aw, and a monkey! That's gonna get them treasures. And steal a card. What card did I get? It's... Okay, Acadine's Awakening. They could play it as a land, if they haven't... Or, oh, no, they already played a land this turn. Oh, no, they also can't play it as a land. Right, because Ragavan doesn't do lands. You'd have to cast it. It's not Balrog in time. I kind of just, like, henge into Halfling here. Let's do it. Great. Gains me a tiny bit of life and sets up an engine. Something notable, though, is that now, if the Balrog does come out and dies, they can destroy the Great Henge. Because he can destroy an artifact. Because that's what he do. Oh, they stole my Crater Hoof Behemoth! Oh, we're so dead. Good game. Can't be mad about losing to our own hoof, right? GG, glad you won with crime. Thalia and the Gitrog Monster going to make all my pesky non-basic lands come in tapped. But also, going to do a whole lot more. They can sacrifice things, they can, you know, draw lots of cards, they can play extra lands each turn. I know what I can do. I can get a breeding pool on turn 1 and use it to play Delighted Halfling. She is so cute. Just look at her. Ooh, maybe I should have actually gone for the Golgari land, the Overgrown Tomb, so I could go for the bat next. I didn't think that far in advance. So Thoughtseize is good, but I want to make sure I get more lands. Sometimes the Thalia and Gitrog decks are Aristocrat Sacrifice decks. Sometimes they're Super Friends decks. Sometimes they're just Landfall decks. You could take this in so many different directions because it's a very good card. Also, it has First Strike and Death Touch, so I will not win in combat against it. This will draw me a card. Let's see if we can. It will also make them discard. All right, we milled a couple good cards. This is nice if we ever get some reanimation, which we do have a little bit in our deck. They also milled some lands. Ooh, Space Shock. That's so cool. This is not a land! That is a henge. It's a pretty good henge, though. But it's not a land. Alright, next time, we'll try to just draw with the Aether Channeler, because we would have actually drawn, I think, the Crocodile. You're not a land. Aether Channeler, do, I don't know, like maybe have a land on top of my deck. Thank you. I appreciate you. Is this a land? Scoping lands. Ooh, bro, we're gonna put him right in the graveyard. He can escape very, very soon. Briscoe's almost a land. He's just like a land that costs 4 mana. And I hate him. But he's very good in this deck. Double Stabbing Croc ETV is so nice. Ooh, Thalia and the Gitrog Monster enter the battlefield. Gonna make those critters come into play tapped. They are playing 2 lands for turn, because they can. All your homies hate Risco, as they should. As it was always meant to be. So this will come into play tapped. I'm actually considering bouncing this. It's old man time. This old man, he make clock. It's almost a land. That's what I'm saying. I have very few basics in this deck. In part because I have some very greedy cards mana base wise in here. If I get Blood Mooned, I will just sit there and contemplate my demise. Thankfully, we don't really match into the decks that run Blood Moon. An elf! This is also an elf. Whoa, okay, there's the thing again. Sorry, if you hear that weird noise, it's from the construction site. It's very scary sounding, and I don't know what it is. saying it sounds a bit like an elk. It does sound a bit like an elk. It's a dinosaur. It could be a dinosaur. Aww. They smashed my claw. Now I might not be able to double spell, because this will come into... Ooh. Row. Sorry, Perforator Crocodile. I need this out. I need it bad. We will draw. Put this into play. It comes in tapped because of Thali and the Gitrog Monster. And I'll swing these two at the Invasion of Amonkhet. Do I have Oko trapped in my apartment and he's just making elk noises? Ugh, he would. What's funny is if they let it flip, there's nothing I would have even been able to copy. I just would have had a 4/4. And I just kind of wanted a 4/4. If I have Spelunking, can things come in untapped? Yes. What you have to do is you have to choose all of the replacement effects that will have it come in tapped. And then the last one to kind of apply is they come in untapped. They will come in untapped. It's not a trigger, it's like a replacement, so it gets a little weird. Alright, Thali and the Gitrog Monster hitting for another 4, leaving them shields down. Or leaving them open to... board wipe? I feel like it's Wanderer. Or, Eternal Wanderer? Is that her name? Nah, then they wouldn't have attacked with that. Oh, it's just blood on the snow. That's fine. R.I.P. my dreams of henging. They had enough snow to bring this back. I think they would just kill Yarok if I play him. So I will ramp first. Rambledy rambledy. Green and blue. Good for Uro. I mean, a card like Spelunking, if you're building a full-on landfall version of Yarok, is actually not bad, because it does get to draw 2 cards and put an additional 2 lands into play. Because I'm pretty sure it just puts it into play. I do not have like a full-on landfall build. I'm not running Tatiova and a bunch of other cards, but you can. You certainly can.
Easy to find in war.
I'm almost at the point where I could play Yarok and another spell. I could play, I guess, Yarok in the Bat. Why would I ever play Yarok in the Bat when I could do Hostage Taker? This is mine. I brought it from home. Terra Paragon, Casualties of War, and a Tear Asunder. Let me just take a little look over here. Casualties of War. They can still like minus and tear ass. They can even attack in first. Oh, they're fragmenting reality! So I get a random 1-drop from my deck. It's the Kami of Bamboo Groves! I don't have any lands in my hand. Oops. But it's an enchantment which gives you almost a full casualties. They can destroy artifact, creature, enchantment, and land. I guess they could hit their own planeswalker. They shouldn't. It would be bad. That's pretty cash. Pretty cash money. They can't destroy battle. Nope, can't destroy battles with it. Liliana's getting closer to ult. And we are getting further from our mana to use Yarok to his fullest. Mm-hmm. I could flip this over and make a copy of, Old Man or Elf Scout. Oops. Yeah! What about it? You scared of my Avacyn's Pilgrim? You oughta be. Oh, sweet. A land? And it comes in untapped? My favorite part is when we got to say die. Hostage Taker is cute as removal. I do think that Rusko or Aether Channeler is the right pick. I'm going for Rusko because I have another bounce card here, the Nightclub Bouncer. Just making sure I'm leaving up to blue. We are. Here's a henge. It's also tempting to go for Thassa, but instead, draw a card. Go boing. They can exile our henge, but I did get a little value out of it first. Yeah, we got lots of artifacts worth getting rid of. I also have 12 life left, and my creatures are still coming in tapped. I feel like they might want to save their exile for Uro, but I think getting rid of this now is very good. They could also see what they draw off Thalia attacking. This little man, he make clock. It's a big blue mana rock. Stop trying to make him seem cute. He's horrible. He's a war criminal. He deserves death. Don't say he's just a little guy. He bombed a peace meeting. But what if he is just a little guy? What if it's his birthday? I haven't played Yarok yet because there hasn't been a good situation for it. I'm thinking we go Yarok Uro next turn if we can. Right now, I don't have the mana for it, though. Wait. I do and don't. Okay, I think I should prioritize killing her. Leaving this zombie here means I can flicker it and, like, make them discard again, too. I think that's fine. I will go to combat. I will bop the Liliana. I know I have this casualties, but I'm saving this. Uro. Leaving most of the creatures in my graveyard. The ones I care the most about. Let's see what we draw. My stuff can come in untapped since Thalia's not out here. Ooh, Tashanda's Tidebender is good too. Thassa, and we are blinking this Rusko. Now you might remember that this is not a Rusko. It's actually Invasion of Amonkhet, which is going to make them discard, going to mill us both, and draw us a card. Looks pretty good to me. GG, Thalia and the Gitrog Monster. Our card advantage and Crater Hoof Behemoths are assured. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. I hope you liked seeing Yarok and his many value pieces. My favorite card in this deck will forever be Risen Reef. My beloved. These two were printed together as part of M20 and this Elementals theme, and they're just so cool together. There were also the Elemental Knights that were printed around the same time that are just so fun to get to play. I think that this deck is great and very flexible. You can put in lots of different things. You can make it a Reanimator sort of theme. You can make it Landfall. I've even seen ones that are based around artifacts and enchantments. Because why not? You've got so many cards that work so well, you may as well just use all of them. I personally like creatures though, so I put a bunch of creatures. I put a bunch of just random good stuff in here because that's what you can do with Yarok. This was actually a requested deck. Somebody asked me to build this, so I did. And if you would like to request that I build the deck, let me know in the comments section. What I do is I write down a giant list of all of those commanders, and then I pitch 5 of them to my stream audience and let them vote on who we should brew. And in this case, they chose Yarok. Thank you to everybody, by the way, who suggests a commander, either for me to brew for the first time or update. It gives me lots of fun new things to try. If you're looking for the deck list, it's in the description of the video. If you're looking for my stream, twitch.tv/Amazonian. And if you're just looking to say hi, yeah, the stream's a great place to do that. Thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.